Today is a great day dedicated to the largest mammal on earth, the elephant. Most of us in the present generation are lucky to see these enormous looking free roaming pachyderms perambulating the wilderness of the tropics. Their ancestry dates back to over 35 million years ago when they were pig-sized animals. They were said to be amphibious, like the present-day hippopotamus, exhibiting the evolutionary trait of their trunks, which were rudimentary, and the evolution has tailored it a long way to see those huge trunks in the present-day elephants. During this evolutionary process, several species of elephants of various sizes had come and gone forever, leaving only the 3 remaining species for us today. It is said that over 160 different species of elephants existed once upon a time at various time scales, each having a personality of its own, and some developed into the largest animals on earth, competing even the present-day elephants. Story begins with the earliest known member, Morithyrium, whose skeletal remains were the first to be discovered from a paleo-aquatic environment in the year 1901. This was an excitement for the paleontologists the world over in finding the earliest ancestor of the present-day elephant, which was only half the height of an adult human being. Many more species were discovered later in the course of the 19th century, which includes 6 more species from various localities of Africa and Algeria. When the Morithyrium and other elephant-like fossil remains were found, the paleontologists believed that there are a lot of missing links between this and the present-day elephants. Their predictions did not go in vain with their subsequent find, the Dinotherium. It was in the mid-Miocene period, which dates back to 24 million years ago from the African continent. They were really enormous animals which were about 13 feet tall. 3 species were found which showed their typical tusk-like appendages curving down from the lower jaw. One of the species of Dinotherium, by name Dinotherium indicum, once roamed the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent, and they were common in the late Miocene period. Then came the gomphotheres, known as gomphotheriums, which existed in Asia, Europe, Africa, and North America, which were huge, growing to about 3 meters tall. They are popularly known as shovel tuskers, which had a typical down-curved tusks and 2 protruding shovel-shaped teeth on their lower jaw. These were considered to be a widespread elephants comprising of at least 22 species in various geographical range. Another close relative of the gomphotheres roamed the wilderness of Eurasia and Africa was the tetrabelodon. This was a different looking animal with 4 tusks, 2 on the upper jaw and 2 on the lower jaw, and hence it was named the tetrabelodon or 4-tusked elephant. They were 4 meters tall and lived during the late Miocene to early Pliocene. Another elephant which lived during the Pliocene to Holocene was the group called mammoths. These gigantic animals lived in Europe, Asia, Africa, and North America. There were at least 10 species in this group, of which the woolly mammoth is a well known one with a shaggy woolly coat all over its body. This animal lived 5 million years ago and considered recent in the paleontological scale. Even today, in the Arctic, their completely preserved specimens are found on many occasions. Research is still going on to isolate the DNA from those well preserved individuals to be resurrected from history. The Columbian mammoths, another member from the same lineage, is majestic with an extraordinary pair of tusks which are long and unusually curved. They are supposed to be a hybrid between the steppe mammoth and the woolly mammoth. This is supposed to have happened during the Pleistocene, which is 2 million years ago. Yet another prehistoric pachyderm that lived in the Americas is the mastodon. They were relatively small but had long tusks and moderately hairy. Shivalik ranges in India had something to boast with regards to the prehistoric pachyderms called the stegodons. Those finds from the Shivaliks were named after the god Ganesha, and they were popularly known as Stegodon Ganesha. This animal had exceptionally long pair of tusks which were at least 11 feet long and is still in the exhibits of the National Museum, Kolkata. To commemorate this find, India has come out with a postage stamp in the year 1951 showing two stegodon tuskers in a standoff. At least 13 species of stegodons lived in Asia and eastern part of Africa during the period roughly around 5,000 years ago. Another extinct genus which existed in India was the Paleoloxodon. This is considered to be the largest land mammal ever lived on Earth. It stood to a height of 17 feet, and its remains were unearthed from the dry tracts of Narasinghpur in Madhya Pradesh. It weighed approximately 22 tons. Most of these giants are dead and gone. Nature did consider leaving a few specimens for us to see today. Fortunately, we have 3 species, namely the Asian elephant that lives in Asia, the savanna elephant which roams most of the open forests of Africa, and the forest elephant, the one lives in the evergreen forests of Congo and other nearby areas. Let us start with our own species that live around us, the Asian elephant. Asian elephant is the largest land mammal of Asia and has a wide distribution in the Southeast Asian region, including India and Sri Lanka. They are the only member of the genus Elephas that exists today. The name Elephas maximus was named by the greatest of the great taxonomists, Carl Linnaeus, in the year 1758. The geographical isolation has created a subspecies in the Asian mainland called Elephas maximus indicus, and isolated populations in various islands like Sri Lanka, Sumatra, and Java evolved into 3 individual subspecies endemic to those islands. Asian elephants generally live in a forest domain where they move around through various habitats depending on the seasonal requirement, ultimately to feed on the vegetation. In India, they have been seen inhabiting in almost all landscapes except the seacoast. Since they need enormous quantity of vegetation to feed on, they have become highly nomadic without fixing up a specific territory. They feed on leaves of trees and very often they turn towards bark of trees. Tectona grandis or the teak is one of its favorites. Hard to munch but still enjoys consuming a bit of nutrition from it. Using its tusks or tushers in the case of the female elephants like this, it dislodges the tree bark and the trunk comes handy to peel it off. In forests, many such debarked trees can be seen. Bamboo shoots and leaves, especially the tender ones, are the most sought after by the elephants. Bamboo localities often attract elephants like magnets, and same is the case with the ochlandra and other species of grass. Inside deep forests, patches and large expanse of grasslands are favored by the elephants as they enjoy feasting on the luxuriant grass growing on the slopes without any disturbance. Look at this middle-aged tusker. He is busy feeding on the grass. There he has plucked a bunch. For elephants, eating grass is its major occupation through the day, and the process is always plucking the grass from the ground, which will contain lot of soil and other unwanted things. To filter them away, they use a simple technique of slashing it on its leg or somewhere in its body to ensure unwanted things are removed. This looks like a built-in mechanism when you watch them feeding on grass. When trees fruit, especially jack and mango, elephants come from nowhere and can be seen relishing on the fallen fruits. It often tries to reach at it to the extent possible by standing upon two legs. The only thing they don't get to their sufficient requirement are minerals. Though some earthen banks inside forests attract them where they dig out the required mineral contents from the soil and eat them. In order to supplement, our forest and wildlife departments used to provide mineral licking points inside the forests so that these animals can come and take their share. Here, what you are seeing is one such lick near Mudumalai. Water and muddy pools are their favorite place of enjoyment. One such pool has attracted a small group of elephants, including young ones of different ages. See here, one of the young tuskers leaning on the earthen bank and enjoying the company of others. See the tiny young one, not knowing what it is doing, but still coping up with others in the water sport. The calf here has just drifted away from its mother and tries to explore the surrounding. It's a part of their learning, and it scurries up to clamber on the rock and finds an unfamiliar character in front, a myna. It tries to pursue them as though they are playing hide and seek. Even when mothers are busy feeding, they are vigilant about their surrounding and keep an eye on their calf as a natural instinct. Though tuskers are also a part of the herd, they are only adolescent ones. Once they get matured, they are often out of the group. The group starts marching across, sensing each other by their tail and trunk. The calf you see here is a grown up. The bond with its mother is still active as he takes an opportunity to suckle her teats as the mother goes on with its business. Such herds are often seen in the patches of grasslands inside our forests. How graceful they are! Here comes a pair of tuskers, a part of this composite group. They have sensed something wrong somewhere. The group moves right into the bushes. That's a call for her to go into cover. Look at this tiny calf, probably a month old, standing close to her mother, trying to imitate what she is doing. Day by day, this is a process of learning to become an adult. Now, for a change, she steps out to go with her elder sister and enjoys her company. But mother still keeps an eye on her, ensuring everything is safe and secure. Elephants often enjoy adorning their back with mud and vegetation. Look at this example. He has bunches of grass on it, which he is not bothered to remove. For us, it looks like a makeup, but it is a part of its strategy to avoid biting insects. This dust bath acts as an insect repellent as the biting insects follows them wherever they go. Man made water bodies, like reservoirs, are very often visited on a day to day basis by herds like this. Whenever the water levels are low, the embankment provides a luxuriant carpet of grass on which these elephants enjoy feeding in the cooler times of the day. Here is a full herd on the bank of a reservoir. Here comes the stump-tailed matriarch of the herd. She has some plans ahead, probably thinking of crossing the reservoir. Asks others to wait, and she takes a lead. Others abruptly stops. She goes almost 30 meters away to make sure that everything around is okay, and then she signals to the others. Others obediently takes her instructions. The trunk works like a snorkel, and the tiny young one, by instinct, knows about its utility. As they enter the deeper water, they start swimming. This is the only way they can get to the unharvested vegetation on the other bank. They have now teamed up as a group to reach the other bank, taking their young ones safe. These amazing scenes are rarely captured, wherein one has to be there at the right place at the right time. All these happened once when we visited the reservoir at Parambikulam as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a mind-blowing sight to watch these giants drifting in the water to catch up with their feeding activity. They have almost reached the bank. First to get onto the banks was the young one, flanked by their two sisters. The matriarch waited for all to get out of the water, and then only she stepped out. Before leaving, she enjoys a short mud bath as a repellent from the insects. Then they are off to the woods for their usual forage. Before leaving, it said goodbye to us by waving its trunk. These pachyderms are not at peace in their own habitat, as we often see many of these elephants entering the city limits, which was never heard in the past. By doing so, many animals meet with vehicle collision or even death on the railway tracks, which flashes a bad signal. If this goes on like this day by day, problems will escalate and their survival itself is going to be in a question. Let us all join hands for conserving them and bless them a positive future. Though evolution is a natural process, human intervention can certainly save these magnificent creatures from getting into the history books. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe. Happy World Elephant Day.